and welcome to High Point Music's Gear Reviews. I'm Lewis, and today I'm going to be taking you through the Wampler Triple Wreck Deluxe. The Triple Wreck Deluxe is considered a modern amplifier in a box pedal, designed to give you the sounds of a PV or a Marshall or a Mesa or a Soldano kind of high gain distortion. I'll take you through some of the settings now and show you what it does. So first things first, here's my clean tone. Which is our Fender Stratocaster into the 2 notes La Clean. We've got our guitar connected to the input connection of the Triple Wreck, the La Clean or the amplifier connected to the output, and we're powering it from a 9-volt DC one-spot power supply. I'll take you through some settings of the controls and go from there. So first things first, I'm going to just take that boost off and turn the effect itself on. We've got a few controls here. We've got our gain control, our volume control, contour, which is only related to the boost channel. I'll show you in a little bit. Treble, middle, and bass. So this is what it sounds like. And I'll take you through some of those settings. So volume control I've just got set to unity, so it matches our clean channel. Here's some of the gain range. About 11. Take it up to about 1 o'clock. That up to about 3 o'clock. And 1 at max gain. Take that back down. So your gain control has got a pretty decent range to it. It does get quite bitey and rich in the sustain in those top end settings. So it's a pretty good start at the moment. The next control I'll show you through is some of the treble response. We're going to have our gain about half. And this is the sort of range we can get out of the treble control. So you can hear that treble control is cutting quite a lot of frequency out once it gets below about 9 or 10 o'clock. Really useful for the higher gain settings where it is a lot sharper. In the brutal mode, which is a mode that has a bit more top end response. I'm liking the treble on this pedal pretty high for the settings I've been using, but a sweepable range like it has is a great feature. So I'm going to leave that at about 10 and go through some mids. Now the mids control is a very powerful control in a distortion pedal like this. This particular pedal, it's designed to give you everything from a pushed distortion like a MIDI Marshall right through to a scooped sound without having to go to something with a graphic EQ. The scooped sound on this is going to be more like your modern Mesa Boogie sound. This is what it sounds like. We'll push that to about 12. Take that down to about 10 o'clock. And take it right down, scoop it right out. Now you can hear it's cutting a lot of mid-range out, and with your gain controls and the bass controls, you'll be able to get that real scoop sound. So just by comparison, I'll take that from the lowest setting up to about where I've been using it, just so you can really hear that contrast. So from this, to that, which is going to be a huge difference in a live scenario, being able to make your guitar tone really present and not waste all your frequency in ranges that the sound guy's going to cut out. The last control is the bass control. I'm going to put that mids back to about there. The bass control I found with this pedal is really good in between sort of 8 and 12 o'clock, mostly because with the higher gain settings you get more bass. So control that you can cut a lot of bass out with is pretty useful on something like this. I'll take it from nothing and I'll maybe use the gain, a little bit more gain, and show you from there. So no bass. To about 9 o'clock. To about 12, I'm at 11:30. And then from there we'll go to about 3 o'clock. And then flat out. And you can hear that the bass is really quite big in response at this point. It's going to sound more like a big like stack quad box with all that bottom end response. I definitely prefer it at the point where the bass is nice and tight for palm muting sounds, and I'll show you some settings that I've got like that now. Alright, so I'll take you through the first of the favourite settings I've got on this pedal. This one is kind of my modern crunch or modern chunk sound, designed to emulate a high gain amplifier of a modern flavour like a 5150 or a Mesa Boogie. I've got my volume set to about 9 o'clock, which is unity at our current settings. I've got our gain control set to about 9:30, our treble control set to 2, our mids control scooped back a little bit at about 10 o'clock, and the bass at about 8:30. I do find that between 8:30 and 9 o'clock is quite a bit of is a noticeable jump in bass response, so that's definitely something you're gonna play with and find a setting that suits your taste. But this is what it sounds like. So you can hear it's got great palm muting response at this setting. The gain isn't super high, and it's got that slightly scooped mid sound that's going to still cut through a little bit, but shapes the palm muting sound nicely. I'll take you on to the next setting. So this is my 80s crunch sound. I've voiced it to sound more like a Marshall, where the gain isn't completely saturated and the bottom end is nice and tight. This is kind of my 80s Metallica sort of sound. Yeah, I'll take you through the settings. So first things first, I've got the hard setting selected. It's a little bit less frequency in the top end, but because of the lower gain range, it's I can afford to cut a little bit off that and not lose definition. I've got my gain at about 1 o'clock, my treble at about 3 o'clock. The mids are just a little bit scooped at 11, and the bass is still in that 8:30 kind of setting. This is what it sounds like. This is a great sort of Marshall in a box kind of setting to my ears. Probably something everyone can have on their pedal boards. It's not too over the top, and it kind of has that little bit MIDI or little bit boxy kind of tone to it that you might hear as a recorded guitar sound more than a bedroom guitar sound. So that's a definite favorite that this pedal can cover. I'll take you through my next setting. So my next setting is more of an overdrive setting. To me, this setting is a great sort of starting point for where the pedal can take you from its low to its higher range. And this is also the setting that I found the most useful with the pedal's built-in boost circuit that I'll show you in a moment. So I've got my contour for the boost all the way down. I've got my volume at unity, gain is at about 8 o'clock, trebles at 4 o'clock, so nice and bright. Our mids is at about 2 and a bass is at about 8:30, and we're still on the hard mode, so it's just taking a little bit more off the top. This is what it sounds like. So the boost. Without the boost. That's my 3 settings with the boost control. The boost does get a little bit fuzzy for my liking in some of the high gain settings. So if you're looking for a low gain with a push level, that's where I think the boost really comes into its own on this. I would rate this pedal as a 10 out of 10. I think as an amp in a box sound, it does very well. The sweepable EQ range is a really powerful tool, and if you're running this into higher amps or lone amps, I think you're going to find most of these settings are easy to achieve in a range of amplifiers because of how powerful that EQ section is. Wampler pedals are fantastically built. The research and development that goes on over there is second to none. I would absolutely use this on my board. I'm a huge Mesa Boogie fan. I'm a Marshall fan. And if this stops you from lugging one of those amps around or having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on one amp to get one sound, this is a pretty great option as an alternative. If you're interested in picking one of these up, you can check out the links below. We're also going to have a link below to the non-deluxe version, which is the same pedal but without the boost circuit, a link to the power supply that we're using. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow our social media. You can also check out our members area. It's free to sign up. We've got our blog there. We've got more information on the pedals and different settings and things you can do with them. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.